Whoa, it's been a year already? My world's another year old? Oh my gosh. Well, that must mean it's time for another world tour. Yep, so last year, for the 2-year anniversary of my Minecraft world, I showed you all around, and, well, there's been some pretty notable changes. I've been hard at work, terraforming. Actually, no, this place was here last year, but I've still been hard at work, changing up a lot of things. Last year's world tour started off with me at this pond, fishing up my very first fish in the world. I know, 2 years at that point and no fish caught. So I thought, let's start this one out a similar way. Where is it? I know it. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Beehive. Okay. Okay. Yep. Here we go, and be our guest. I have no idea how I've never gotten that. I've had this bee farm. This is like the first thing in this entire. Actually, yeah, I think this is the oldest thing besides the Nether portal itself in this entire base. Is the bee farm? So, how have I never gotten that? Well, it doesn't matter because we got it now. All right, let's start this thing off at the main mountain base. There's been a few changes. There's some pretty big ones, but I want to go with the small ones first because these little terraces have been bothering me since I very built them. They used to be all squared off, just mostly dirt. I think those ones up there might have had wood. I don't even no, I think they didn't. But now they all do, and let's get a good look from the. I think it looks decent. It's not in love with it, but I think it's more acceptable than it used to be at least. And also we connected the path here. Most of the stuff around here has been done very recently, like in the past month, but we connected it over to here, which used to be my honey exit, it was just a honey wall so that mobs couldn't get in. It didn't really need to be honey, but it was honey for quite a while. And I finally made a proper entrance into the cave base from this side. And again, it's got the classic terrace design that's over there as well. And usually I'd sleep, but I don't think there's a reason to because what I've done is I'm pretty sure I've mob-proofed this entire mountain, mostly with hidden lighting. These moss streaks are doing quite a lot up here because I don't think any see-through blocks that really completely match or blend in with the red, which is kind of a shame, except for like buttons and pressure plates, of course, which is what I did over here. So if those ever become spawnable, I'm in trouble. But I've also got some torches around here that I forgot to take care of, but too late now. Yeah, I spent like an entire 2 days just going around with torches, let's see if I can bring it up, with the light level overlay, and I think everything around the mountain that could possibly get me. Well, I'm still scared of falling. Has been completely mob proofed. Oh, except for right there. That's a problem. It's fine. It's far enough away. It's fine. Some of it's still, a bit. Oh, wrong one. Wrong button. Some of it's still a bit dark. Over here is not spawn proofed at all. But over here, it's all safe to be around. Just because I don't want more Endermen spawning because they're so annoying. Oh, I don't even have a bed. Ooh, what I can show you is in through here. I've gotten all my. Oh yeah, there's a few changes within the base, but let's get to those after the bedroom. We've got the infinite outside, or just the window outside, and we have the infinite tunnel. It goes on for a little bit. Funny little funny little gags. Oh, and we also have the painting. Oh, or ooh, that'll be a fun thing to show. Oh yeah, funny thing with the bees, actually, while I'm thinking about it, and it just kind of happened. I died recently in this world, which, not hardcore, thankfully, but, I plummeted to my death, and when I respawned down there, and the funny thing is, if I go into the nether if I go into the nether when it's nighttime, the bees are in there, and then if I respawn in here, I'm right down there, right next to all the bees, and they all leave their hives at the same time, so it's just a big... It's... it's something for sure. I think this stuff was in here last time. I've got my books. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. It's got the physics in here, and I did that during last school year. And we have the painting. I don't think goes anywhere. And then we've also got, yeah, yeah, we have this proper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I never remember what it like. I know I just finished the path out there when I did this. Nothing. I can't remember anything else. So let's just go through everything. I guess everything I think is new. So we have a little witch's cat over there that I saved from a witch. This thing was in a cave. It was so incredibly painful to find. But we also got a little bit of amethyst expanse there. We also have the dogs, which are so incredibly loud. We've got a Bork, Amelia Walmart, Printer Jam. It's my favorite one. Fumble, one of the original dogs. Fidget Spinners, not an original dog. Do I have any more? No, a Bork. Yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, okay, those are the only. Oh, they're late. Oh yeah, I got fresh animations. But they've also done some massive wolf updates since. I think, yeah, that was in like fall of last year, maybe. So these guys are new. Oh, one last thing with the terrain outside. If I fly through this painting, if I fly through this painting, I end up outside. So that's a cool little thing I wanted to add. Of course, we've got Greg Horse, but he's been here since day one. He's 3 years old. He's a toddler. But yeah, continuing down into the base, we have this area which got all of its torches removed. I've been making a concerted effort recently, or not recently, a long time ago, but you know, less than a year ago, to start not, you know, relying on super out in the open lighting. And a more normal way to say that sentence, because I stumbled through that thing, is hidden lighting. Love it. And I think it works. It took a little time for it to grow on me, but I think it's good at this point. Oh yeah, when I died, I lost all my ender pearls. No. Oh, I gotta restock those. Yeah, ender pearls load chunks now, so even if I don't die in the same dimension with those chunks loaded, they all disappear, which is kind of sad. I think I had sniffers last time, but just in case, we've got the sniffer sanctuary. Though I'm pretty sure we had these guys. I always forget to check their. Oh my gosh, that is so many. But also at the same time, it doesn't seem like a lot for at least a year of them being there. Yeah. Not a huge thing, but I recently, not recently, many months ago, renamed these sheep so they wouldn't count towards the mob cap because I think if I remove all passive mobs that aren't, that if I name tag all the passive mobs, they might start spawning again in the spawn area. So I think that's cool. Who do we have here? We have Parky Cat. I forget what this. I know this is a reference to something. I know someone misspelled car, but I don't know if that was a me thing or if I saw someone else. I don't know. It's a funny though. It sure is a funny. And this is one of my. I guess not my. It's one of my favorite things, but most of my base improvements are all count as a favorite thing. So last year you could probably remember. I can actually show you. It's right through here, the old enchanting room. I think I mentioned I really did not like it. It was just too wide open. It didn't have enough going on in it. It had the wall of enchanted books, but other than that, you know, the wall of enchanted books is the reason why the room is so big, and I did not like that. So what I did is I ripped out the center of it and made this. And I'm pretty sure I have enough room for every single enchantment in the game. I just have yet to fill anything up because I only really ever had these four and then some shulker boxes of, that's a bad example, of Soul Speed and Swift Sneak. There it is. There's a few Swift Sneaks in there. But this was my first time using the resin blocks in an actual build, and I think they go really well with the purple I feel like this is a aesthetic that not many people use. Oh yeah, they go super well with the shroom lights as well. And I think just as a whole thing, this is one of my favorite parts of my base. We've also got hidden ender chest, nice. Anvils, enchanting. I think this is yeah, this has got to be a level 30 enchanter, else I wouldn't have put it there. But yeah, we've also got a bunch of sets of armor that I think go really well in here. I've got my full leather armor set. I don't know where my chest plate is. I think it might be in my spare armor. I wore this for quite a while. I think I mentioned last world tour. I wore leather armor for a little bit, just for fun. I want to do that again, actually, but I fly into stuff way too much. I also did chainmail before that because I wanted to ease myself into the challenge. And then we also have right here the I think I how do I explain this? So this is the most utility uh, armor set in the game. We've got the turtle helmet for turtle breathing, for water breathing, turtle. No, not turtle master. Yeah, just water breathing. um, Elytra for flying, gold for piglin protection, and leather boots for snow. I think when I originally saw this online, it was before Caves and Cliffs, so it was gold boots and netherite pants. But now we've got a full non-netherite utility suit, which I think is really cool. And then we got the netherite sets, and this is the bone set. I think it's actually quartz. Yeah, 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 quartz. But with silence trim, it really looks like bones, and I think it's just a really cool set. And then we also have the blue trimmed one. I think this looks really cool. I still think that the amethyst silence trimmed is one of my favorite um, armor combinations with the netherite. I think it just goes super well together. Not a lot of contrast, but I really like it. And then with the pale garden cape, ooh, it's nice. But yeah, just symmetrical down this line. It worked out so well like that. Thankfully, the previous room was a square, at least with yeah, it worked out. It worked out fine. And then it goes right into this place, which I don't think has changed. Maybe this staircase is new. I don't know. I've changed this. I've changed the way up from there to here so many times I can't even remember. We've also got the orange leaves with the resin clumps on the azalea leaves. Makes some very good orange blossoms. We've even got some hybrids. I also used some of the pale hanging moss here to have some sort of like dead roots. I don't think I've done this anywhere else, but I think it looks cool for this area at least. Okay, I think most of it from here over there is old, but now we have the new places. Um, yeah, I think last World Tour I was just starting on this leg of the base. And for quite a while I had no idea what I wanted to do. I got a little parrot mosaic here. I've got concrete. I've showed this before. I had a whole video dedicated to it, but yeah, I built it in my survival world. You've seen this area if you've watched the Pale Garden video, and I think maybe one time I did the spring drop in here somewhere. But I don't know if I've ever really shown in depth what the inner workings of Concretal looks like in survival. In creative, I think I did, but well, oh yeah, oh spoilers, spoilers. Oh, you didn't see that. Then going down into here, we have another little reservoir basin area. I forget what I called it. It was either reservoir or basin. It connects up from this area, which is it's just a reservoir. We've got our hanging llama. We've got our diamond gate, which I have so many diamond blocks. I don't even know what to do with them, so I just use them as decoration. They're pretty cool. They're nice. We've of course got the diamond door over here, and I don't know. Think I think we had this style of structure here last time. I feel like it, but it like ended right here. So this is all new. We've got a little intermediary honey area because I can't really put anything too. I can't put a hallway there because there's stuff there already. We've also got part of the giant shulker box storage system that I've been growing. And this note block is part of a system that I've never actually implemented, but I think it'd be really cool. I click it, and all the beacons in the area toggle. So if I want to go out and like get a cool screenshot, but I don't want constant beacon power beams all over the place, you know, I can do that. Never hooked it up because that is a whole lot of work, and I've got wires everywhere and all sorts of mess around here. It'd be a huge pain to hook up, but I would love to at some point. And then we've got blank space here, and then another beacon toggle thing here. Probably would have just mirrored it or something. Maybe I would have had, a beacon here to signify whether it's on or off. That'd be cool. I've got ideas for it now. I might as well do it. And then we have this area over here. Just kind of bridge the gap here with some leaves. We've got an overlook to down there. Really nice how this whole area came around. Huge fan of it. And then we have this cool thing. And before we go out, because we're probably just gonna go down there afterwards, I want to show you this little bit of detail. These are some eye blossoms from the Pale Garden. And they light up when it's not outside. Now this was a huge problem before I lit up everything, but I'm still going to keep it because it's a cool little thing. It shows you, because we're in a cave, we don't know what time it is, and daylight sensors are boring, so we use the flowers themselves. So when they're open, we know that it's night outside, so we can be, wary of any creepers or skeletons or any mobs that might be about, because boom! We've got a wind charge player launcher that opens up the ground and lets us boost out, it's so fun. I don't know if it's like more efficient than just flying out normally, but I like it. I use it sometimes. Oh, we fell right down here. So yeah, continuing down here, we've got continuation of the leaves around here. We'll go into concretal in a second. But yeah, we just have this little outcropping here. Originally, this was going to go down into like a grassy area down there, and the base was going to continue in that direction. But the issue is, I'm going to go into free cam really quick. I usually just use this to make sure I'm not digging into stuff. Because look at this place, it's a big issue. Because if I continue down here, I would have run into, because what level is it at? Yeah, it's at this level, would have been down to here. I would have run into outside pretty quickly, which has been a problem the entire base. And so instead I decided to cap it off here and just continue down that way, which we'll go to in a bit. Mojang added some new paintings, and I didn't quite know what I wanted to do with this wall. I could have done a map wall, but I've already got the map wall upstairs, so I didn't, and like, I don't want to update two maps at the same time. That'd be really annoying when I get around to that. So I decided to install one of the artworks, but they're not big enough for this wall, so I put it in the middle and surrounded it with trapdoors, and then did I copied the blocks or like the colors from around. I think it looks. This is one of my favorite parts. I know I'll say this all day, every day. This is one of like the small little this is one of my favorite small little details. Is just this little nook. Huge fan. And if you look in the water, there's another small little detail. It didn't come out exactly as planned. Maybe if I didn't have the grates here, it'd be better. But if we can get into swim mode, we can see. Oh, can't see. We can see there is all sorts of different blocks down here. We've got copper, moss, logs, terracotta, wool, mud, more prismarine, more terracotta, dried mud. I wanted to give a unique texture to the bottom of this, but I think I probably should have raised it up one block and not had the grates here. But speaking of grates, this is a pretty great thing. If I ever fall down, don't have an elytra, I can still get out by pressing that button, and it just like pops out a staircase. I love little things like that. But yeah, now the elephant in the room, we have the trial chamber. So again, I did not know what to put back here. So I was like, what's something weird I can put back here? Because again, I was thinking of a map wall, but everybody has a map wall. What if I took a trial chamber and put it here? Um, and the dimensions actually turned out to be not too bad. The space I was working with is a bit thin. You see, there's a wall right here. I had to terraform a little bit because it did poke out. So I had to downsize it a little bit, and it wasn't quite tall enough. Or I think I could have made it tall enough, but then it wouldn't have fit in the picture frame perfectly. So like these are slabs instead of full blocks. And there's no third layer, but overall, just like, unless you're paying super close attention, this is just a trial chamber. We've even got the place for the mobs to be. There's no spawner up here, unfortunately, but yeah, I replicated this thing as closely as possible to a real trial chamber. And up here, as I flew to before, if we just fire off a rocket or eat or something, we come to the back stages of Concretal. And I am so afraid of breaking something because everything is so fine-tuned and delicate. Because didn't foolproof this thing, and unfortunately I am a fool, so gotta be a bit careful. I'm already stuck. Um, Something I think I didn't have in my showcase video for this is the music system. We're not going to play a game here because it takes forever. It takes forever, and it doesn't have the same charm as Whirl. You just input concrete powders and hope it's correct. There's no strategy, which I of course figured out after I made the whole thing, but I still love it. There's probably better systems now, but there was no tutorials I could find for something like this. I probably just wasn't searching good enough or didn't know how to do it search-wise. But I needed a system that inputted a music disc into a jukebox and then took it out when the game finished, not when the disc finished, and just like recycle it and stop it from playing again. I needed it to be taken out at a specific time because I need to time the fireworks or like the note block sadness noises. So I made a little system here. Um, there's definitely better stuff, so don't copy it, but if you really want to, here's a quick flyby, I guess. I don't even know how most of this stuff works anymore. It's been so long. But yeah, not to bore you with a bunch of redstone. Let's continue with the tour. So going down here, we have the Potion Brewery. Let's demo something. So, again, very similar style to what's up here. I built these around the same time and then filled in this and that much later on. Also, this place is very crammed in underneath the reservoir because a bunch of redstone systems. Let's show you the redstone systems because whole lot of redstone, and of course it is, oh wait, not right there. It is one block from a bunch of water. So not the best. But I think I crammed this in good enough. But yeah, basically how it works, I think, is you go up to the pressure plate and you just take out what you want and it automatically refills the water bottles. Pretty nice, huh? And if we take a look, oh wait, after we finish, we hit the button and it starts brewing. There was a pretty big bug where it just like didn't do stuff in sequence. I don't know how I fixed that exactly, but I thankfully did. I've never seen anybody else have that issue. People probably make their brewers better, but I had that big issue. Because if you dispense everything in order, and then it goes into the hopper and then it gets out of sequence, but I fixed it. This is also super compact, difficult to explain redstone because I also don't really know how it works. I've got those days where I just throw a bunch of redstone down and it kind of works. That's what this was. I was stumped on a brewer for so long and then one day I just did it all in one day. I was like, oh, it works, I guess. And then for spare potions, for the ones just like, that I demoed to bring out, I just can put them back there and then get them ready, readily available, hot and ready. Oh, before we leave, I also have a very cool little organizational tidbit. So I put the ones that are like inverses of each other right next to each other, not only just for restocking, not that I'm never ever going to need to restock this because there's 9 stacks of each ingredient in each of the things, but just for like simplicity, I put like strength and weakness, the two opposites. You got speed and slowness, and I put the good one on the left and the bad one on the right. I think that I do that consistently. I don't know why I chose to do it that way, but I did. So we got regen, which heals you slowly, and we got poison, which kills you slowly. We got health, and of course we got harming. Fire resistance, which lets you exist in fire, and we have water breathing that lets you exist underwater. Night vision, which lets you see at night, and invisibility, which lets the night not see you. Conveniently enough, I don't think when I first envisioned this, the trial chambers have been out. Obviously, they were out when I started building this because I don't think this has been here for a full year. But we've got the trial ones, and there's 4 ones exactly, so they fit right in. Didn't need to X-nay one of them because unfortunately there's not a perfect amount of potions. There's not a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's not a perfect 16 potions. I think the ones I don't have in here are slow falling because phantom membranes are incredibly difficult for me to get because I sleep constantly, and weakness because there's no. Wait, no, I do have weakness. I've got weakness right here. What else do I don't have? Oh yeah, I don't have Turtle Master because turtle helmets are unstackable and really annoying to get. I don't have leap, and of course I don't have leaping because rabbit's foots are also really annoying to get, and I feel way too sad killing bunnies. I can't do it, man. I've done it accidentally a few times, but I've never intentionally killed a rabbit in survival Minecraft. And cat gifts are just not efficient enough. But I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I wanted to add if I wanted to add 2 of those 3, I could in this little area. I wouldn't have an access out. I've never actually made an end wall to this, but I could theoretically add slow falling and turtle master if I really wanted to. All right, leaving the brewing room, we transfer from the reservoirs to the garden. We've got some really. I tried a little bit of a gradient here. I don't know if it works exactly, but I like it because down here I had dark oak supports, and up there I had jungle, so I had to combine them in some way, and I really like this. I don't know if I executed it super well, but I love the prismarine peeking out behind the bricks. It's just a really nice detail. And then we have the gate. This is one of my favorite gates I've ever made. I made it on a server a while ago, and thankfully, though that server has since deleted itself, actually, I didn't play it enough, and the provider just kind of shut it down. Understandably so. But thankfully, I had some screenshots of it, so I was able to put it together from that, and a little bit of memory. But yeah, this is like something I realized around this place was I was going to continue the whole structure part idea with the base, but then I realized this is supposed to be a cave base. This isn't supposed to be above ground base that just happens to be underground. This is supposed to be a cave base, and really the last time that's been apparent is around here and up here, which I guess isn't too far away. But I feel like if we continue with all this, it's gonna lose its caveness. So I decided this area was gonna be definitively cavey, and thankfully, I'm pretty sure at least this first part is in the jungle because a lot of the reason why I did have to do wood flooring over here is because this actually is a jungle. Where isn't it a jungle? Up. Up here, it's a forest, which just doesn't have as good of a ground color. And over here we have stony peaks, which, I mean, I love moss, but the stony peaks grass is like the same color as the moss, which I like jungle grass, so I decided that's what I'm gonna focus on. So I wooded that, but I was like, okay, we're gonna go underground cave now. And on the other side of the gate, I did like a melon version of it because I used pumpkins for the top of the other one. I decided to go a little melony. If there was something that like grew on warped trees, I might have done warped instead of jungle there, but there isn't really. So I really like the cocoa beans, so I did that. Yeah, this area has a bunch of dripstone pillars. Again, we've got the normal path. We've got a custom tree, which I'm always super concerned about custom trees, especially this small, but I really like this one, so that's good. Another really cool detail that we've got here is the overspilling water. I don't know if I executed this super well, but thanks to the moss and the azalea having basically the same color palette, it kind of looks from a distance that like the water. I wish we were able to like have a little like cut this off and just have it from this little place, like have it drip a little bit, because this is supposed to be like overflowing moss over. You pour water onto the ground and it doesn't distribute evenly like Minecraft makes it look like it does. There is a bit of like maybe rocks right there, which are making different channels, and I really like that. I wish I could do it a little better, but especially with the stair, it's so annoying. It like fully waterlogs it, but I think it looks decent. And then continuing on over here is when I realized I don't have a melon and pumpkin farm. I forget when it was exactly. Oh wait, no, I know it. I know exactly when it was. I was filling up my shulker boxes with useful like blocks I use a lot, and I use a lot of nature blocks. And I feel like I would use melons and pumpkins more if I ever had them, but like up until I built this, I didn't have a single melon or pumpkin farm. I had one like way out, not way out there, right outside my door. Very manual farm, just for me to get a stack of these to stock the shulker box. And this thing is, oh my god, I gotta empty it soon, or right now, but I have no time. And yeah, so I built two identical pumpkin melon farms. And this one actually crafts the melon slices into melon blocks, which is really good. A slight challenge with this place is that it is very, very surrounded by stuff. Let me show you in free cam. So right above here, you might be wondering, oh, why does the ceiling go down so fast? Well, that's because the sniffer farm is right here. Literally a slab away is the hoppers for the sniffer farm. So I'm really crammed in there, and then we have the vault area, which is also right there. We have the path, we have the moss farm, which isn't a huge issue. It doesn't really go down all that much except for right here. And we also have this. I thought the brewery was going to be a bit of an issue, but it turned out to not be. And going down this path, we of course have the redstone for the ender pearl system. I gotta have these wires all around my world so I can actually trigger the teleports. And I really like this little window into that. I've always wanted some sort of window into redstone access. That's why I have the one over at Concretal. But yeah, I really like it, and I think it actually lines up. It is centered on the smeltery, but little note before about being so crammed in and everywhere is that I also not only need to avoid all that stuff or showcase it off in a cool way, um, I also need to continue going down because a big goal with this base is I want to always be able to elytra from the very top down to the bottom without using any rockets, or maybe a rocket, but like as few rockets as possible. I'm fairly certain I can still do it. It's a bit tricky with some of the blocks I've added recently. Um, but I'm pretty sure I can make it all the way down here in just one swoop. Because we are doing the super smelter. Originally the super smelter was, I think, This is one, two, this used to be 32, I think, 32, 32. This used to be 128 furnaces because we have another layer. I guess I removed them down there. Unfortunately, it took so long for the minecart to get around that the fuel was getting used up. Um, way, like, a full smelt got done before it got given a second item, so I had to shorten it, and I might have to shorten it again. I don't even know. I haven't tested this. I don't really use, I never have to smelt up this much stuff. I usually just use normal furnaces, but it's good to have, I think. Okay, we're almost done with all the stuff that's happening at spawn. There's one other thing I want to show because I worked on this like last week or something, and I think it's turning out pretty good. I have a little bit more work to do. But I started putting mud on the bottom of the river right here, and I also, this used to just be like an open cave. I decided to like soften it out on the bottom, make a proper, what's this? Is this a lagoon? I don't even know. And continue a little bit of the terraforming here because I really do want to add a lot more rocks because right now it just looks like the rocks are around the path, which doesn't super make sense. But that's just the way it is right now. So I decided to get a little work done on that, and as part of the whole lighting up place, I needed to hide stuff under carpets, moss carpets, and this just so happened to work out pretty well, and I think it's looking pretty good. Also cleaned up a little bit of the terraforming here between the two places, because I custom terraformed this into the water and it just didn't look great. So, but now that's all fixed. Next up, we're going to a new project a few thousand blocks away that I started a week and a half ago, maybe. I don't know exactly. It's very new, and my bed's here, so I also need to get that because I do not have a bed on me right now. But let's go in and welcome to the trial chamber. This is not your average trial chamber, but it's even better. So yeah, since the 1.21 update came out, I've always wanted to live in a trial chamber. Not like a permanent based thing, but I wanted some sort of thing here. But I never really had a super good idea. It was originally the plan was just going to be, oh, like make it into just a survival base, use the trial spawners, make some cool mob farms. But I realized that takes a lot of work, so I don't really want to do that. And at the end of it, it probably won't look too good because it'd just be the normal palette, all the normal blocks, same structure. And I guess it didn't have to be, but in my mind, the main part of it was utilizing the trial spawners to make something. But that's not what this is. This is way different. So as I said, I do a lot of building with natural blocks and plants and stuff, and I thought, why don't I bring that here? Revamp the trial chambers so they're not trial chambery. Like there used to be some like big blockades like here and here. Tore those out, unified everything so I can actually get around here consistently and easily. Trap up these spawners so they're not always going. Add some of my own staircases, stuff like that. And this project is nowhere near complete. I think I'm about halfway with the main decoration part. Maybe I've got like 2 rooms fully decorated and 1 prepped. Or I guess 2 prepped. 1 prepped, 1 in progress. I don't know. There's still a lot of work to do. But yeah, let's show you around. So of course we got the main room. I don't know what this would be. Is this an atrium? No, it's not. I just checked. Atriums are open air, and this is definitively not. But yeah, I also wanted to keep the spirit of the trial chamber still alive. So of course we have an ominous vault there. Not everything survived, but ominous vault right there. No reason to get rid of it, so I kept it. And then this is a really cool thing. I love redstoning cool build projects, so that's exactly what I did with the doors in this place. Click the note block, and it opens up the sides of the door. Pretty cool. And we have this room. And this room, this room The first time that I ever explored this type of room in the trial chambers, I was so confused because there's two staircases. But guess what? I go down the staircase, I'm in a different place. How is that possible? And just one of them didn't have an entrance, so I added an entrance, and now they both go up to nothing. This might be a storage area for all my various blocks, but for right now, it's just so much more useful to have all the stuff near the project. But at some point, I do want to put maybe like all the excess items I have once I'm finished in here somewhere. And, as the week has gone on and, I've been working sometimes late at night, I get to thinking, what's the backstory behind this place? Why are all these plants here? And I thought, the trial chamber kind of looks like a bunker of sorts. So maybe it's some sort of like post-apocalyptic, not so ice-cold Svalbard seed vault type thing where it just like keeps all this stuff alive. And I really like that, so I might be going with that. And that's about when I decorated this room. So this room, not much going on in it right now. I've just cleared out the mobs, cleaned it up, flooded the floor a little bit. I know there is a flooded room in the trial chamber options for stuff, but I do not have one in this one, and this is the closest one I have to me. So, or actually, no, this is the first one I went to. I don't think it's the closest. I think there's one that's a bit closer. But either way, this is my favorite, and I've already started working on it, so yeah. This could be like where the coral goes, but I also have another room that might work for. Maybe we have two. Who knows? Something I discovered kind of by accident, though I'm so happy I did, is over here with the Nether portal. Something about the combo of the like the cyany, light cyan, I don't know, teal, aqua, the aqua color of the copper mixed with the orange copper, mixed with the tuff, the bluishness of the tuff, mixed with the nether portal. I love it so much. Unfortunately, there's not really many blocks in the game, or I don't think any, that perfectly match the nether portal purple. Closest thing I could think of with the same like transparency effect is the purple glass. So I added those, and I'm using that as windows all around. And I also started experimenting with purple, which is it's slowly growing on me. I think you got to get it right with purple. You got to do it just right, or it doesn't look great. But I've always wanted to use purple more. It's such an interesting block. But yeah, so that was that room. And another good reason why I wanted to use a trial chamber for this sort of renovation project instead of like a stronghold, which I've also always wanted to revamp, is no mobs spawn in trial chambers except for the spawner mobs. So as long as I don't activate those, I'm completely safe, and as long as there's no openings to caves, I'm completely safe, which is wonderful. But yeah, we made some platforms here. These used to not be platforms. These used to just be things that jutted out. I was like, oh, platforms, that'd be cool. Yeah, coming down here, this is where it gets to the insane part of the project. And not interesting, as in like, oh my gosh, that's such a cool build, that's insane. No, this is where it was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? So the funny thing about trial chambers is that they're very good with their geometry until they're not. Everything lines up until it doesn't. A great example of that is right here, where they look like they connect down. That's because I used some stairs. These are one block off, but I didn't want to move this entire thing one block over. That would have been terrible. That would have been so annoying. But we had a similar issue with over here. This, the bottom part down here was pushed one block this way, so it also didn't line up, but I didn't want to put stairs here because it's a lot more noticeable when you don't have this thing in the way to obscure stairs. You almost don't notice it from here, you know? So, so I moved this entire room over one block, and And that is why there is no spawners or vaults in this room, because everything was off-centered by one block, of course. But overall, I think it looks much better. But, you know, this room isn't too bad to move over one block. You just have to do the pillars and the walls. At least that's what I did. It was relatively simple overall. Pretty samey in its construction. You know what room would be insane to move around by one block and then rotate 90 degrees? This room. Which is why that's exactly what I did. To be fair, the rotating 90 degrees stuff wasn't difficult, because all I had to do was move this slice from over there to over there. But I also did move this one a full block over. So this is it rivals the starter room as my favorite part of this thing. But it's also the newest one, so who knows? We've got the cherry leaves. We got this cool little growth thing up there. Got those scattered around. Of course, we've got random foliage, and down here we've got a trim of that. I don't really know what to do with those. We used to have an ominous vault here, but I took that out because logically it'd be over there. Also, I just did because it was going to be off by a block. But yeah, it's a bit crazy what I did. You might be wondering, why did you do that? And don't worry, I'm wondering the exact same thing right now. But it's best not to dwell on that. Alright, next project. But don't worry, because that was not the craziest thing I've ever done in this world. You know, moving an entire half of a trial chamber one block, because that goes to what's over here. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, thank goodness it's there. This is some map art. we saw it earlier. This, I don't know, I should probably have brought a map, but if we go up high enough, you can see that this is, no, you can't actually. This is our friend Greg Horse, you know, from the starter base. And this is him pixelated and map arted out. I forget how long this thing took me, but it took me a lot of sanity. A lot of iron blocks as well, like, oh my gosh. Originally, this thing called for some sand and some cobwebs, and I was like, absolutely not. I am not putting... what did I even use for a substitute for sand? I think I used birch planks, was it? Maybe, I think those are the same color. It wanted me to use sand, and it's like, why? Why? But thankfully, I was able to swap that out for birch planks, and same with the cobwebs. I think with the cobwebs, I think I switched those out for white terracotta, I think, and then, oh, what was the other one? Was it calcite that I also swapped out for something else? But yeah, there is a crazy amount of stuff here, particularly this mushroom stem. This was not easy to get. Not easy at all. But the great part about this is that there's no, like, I guess besides below it, it's crazy to think that so many air spaces, yet pitch black below, which is kind of cool. But yeah, guys, that was everything I've been up to in my world for the past year. I hope I didn't forget anything, because that'd be embarrassing. We'll see next year, I guess. Ooh, I almost forgot one last thing. So, we're gonna stay back here for just a second. You're gonna find out why in just really quick. So just after the last World Tour came out, it was like a week before the Tricky Trials update released. Looking at the calendar, last World Tour released the day after my 2-year anniversary in this world. So that means this year it's going to go up on the exact 3-year anniversary. Woohoo! Anyway, like a week later, the Tricky Trials update was going to release. And I'm no like big achievement completionist, but if I see an achievement that's going to be really annoying to get in, you know, like a week, I'm gonna do everything in my power to complete that as soon as possible. And that achievement, of course, was how did we get here? Have every effect applied at the same time. And I know it's possible, but getting Trial Omen, Bad Omen, and Raid Omen all at the same time, as well as being infested while poisoned and wind charged and oozed, didn't really seem like a fun thing. So what I did was got this set up down here. Ooh, there he is. Oh, we gotta wait a little bit for this to calm down. Let's perch ourselves right here and go into free cam for this. Because I do not want to die. So I got this from a tutorial. Because I don't know how to do this myself. Um, we've got a warden over here. What's in a name? 16 blocks, or maybe 17 blocks away from here, so it gives me darkness, but he can't shoot me, so I'm just out of range. We've got a shulker box in here. Yep, he's real. In a boat. There he is. Hello. To give me levitation. This was full of potions. We got a dolphin for dolphin's grace. We got a pit to wither and everything in. Conduit. This is a fantastic setup, but whew, the first, I think, 3 times I did this, I failed. Oh, yeah, also, conveniently, I have an ocean monument about a little bit that way, and I just, like, terrorized 3 villages. But yeah, I tried this thing 3 times, and all 3 of those times, it did not work. I just wasn't fast enough, or I think I got a bit too nervous about completing it, and then was like, got myself too nervous, and then I just couldn't do it fast enough. Because glowing lasts like 5 seconds or something. It's crazy. It's nothing. But thankfully, after all that happened, I finally got the achievement. Like a day before Tricky Trials released, and I was relieved because if I ever do want to go for everything, I can pretty much do anything. Like Uneasy Alliance, kind of really annoying to do, but I feel like I could do that, you know. Monsters Hunted. I don't even know what I have to get. Maybe it's I don't even know. You know, 2 birds, 1 arrow, that's manageable. Balanced diet, 2x2, I just gotta do some stuff for those. You know, all of them are pretty straightforward and not completely a pain to do, but if I needed to get all of these, that'd be terrible. So I just did it very quickly before the update released. And to be fair, I could have just not updated, but I like to update day of, get a go on with everything. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it for this year. That's everything I've been working on. Unless I forgot something again, then that'd be really embarrassing. But yeah, thank you all for watching this probably very long video, and I hope to see you next year. Bye bye.